Okay, so we're going to go over some of the criticism I have gotten on my analyzing George Zimmerman 911 audio punks or coons video. And let's get some caveats out of the way. Well, one is fringe elements would like me to talk about anti-statism, which I've been reading about for some years now and listening to folks on YouTube and things, but I haven't partaken that much in the conversation, and maybe I'll start doing that. The federal government is down there in Florida looking to see if there's a reason to prosecute George Zimmerman under hate crimes. That's what they're doing down there. They can't charge him with murder or anything like that. That's up to now it's up to the state, but before that it was up to the police station, or the local police station. But now that aspect has moved to the state attorney. The state's department, the Justice Department is down there specifically for hate crimes, and if there's anything they're going to be looking at, it's this. There's going to be a lot of other aspects they're going to look at, and I'm going to just predict right now that they're not going to find any evidence of hate crime. More and more evidence is coming out. You have black people coming out saying this is ridiculous to think that this was a hate crime. But of course, anybody just strictly following the media is going to think, oh yes, this was a hate crime, because that's how they painted it from day one, and that's the line they want to continue with. So you get a lot of goofballs. I mean, just stating what you think it is doesn't mean anything. You have to tell me why you think it is, or why you think I'm wrong. Now, at least somebody's been trying to do that. Of course, he started off as an asshole, but he gets down to it. He says, oh, the methodology is flawed, basically, is what he's saying. Yes, I will agree. See, I have no problem admitting that I could very well be wrong. That's what we do when we're true skeptics, you see. So I explain, yes, my methodology is not optimal. Why? Because I'm not Zimmerman. The optimum thing you can do when analyzing this is to get him to speak in the same phone he used, recorded from the same equipment the police department used, have him say punks or coons or whatever other words you want to throw in there, in that same kind of semi-whispered tone he used, and then do the analysis. Doing it myself, though, is the best I've seen so far anybody do, and that includes CNN with their sound engineer and his $50,000 setup there and all that shit. I'll get to more of that in a moment. So the method I'm using, by actually saying the words and not altering the audio, is one way to go. Now, so that I say that, so secondly, yes, doing it this way by recording different words and analyzing the sound waves and doing the comparison is better than enhancing audio, because enhancing audio, people think that it's actually, you can actually pull the word out of there, and it just doesn't really work that way in reality, because what's happening is that you are actually altering the voice with it. You can't prevent that from happening, no matter what software you use. I don't care. You're gonna alter the voice along with altering the background noise, the so-called background noise. It's not really background noise. It's mixed in with the voice. But aside from going into the too far technical aspect of that, that's really all you need to know. So let me demonstrate what happens when you mess with audio like that. Now, currently on the top here, I have George Zimmerman's clip saying punks, what I believe he's saying punks, and here's my voice down here saying punks and then coons. This first word is punks, the second word is coons. Pay attention what happens to the word coons here when I strip it from all its bass and boost all its treble. Just watch this wave. Watch what happens. You see what happened there? Let me do it a couple times. Look at my own wave. It changes, and it looks very similar to this one now. Now this word coons that I say looks very similar to what Zimmerman said up here, doesn't it? Well, that's what happens when you mess with audio in such a way. It changes it to look just like the word punks. Coons has a, as I said, a nice smooth wave going downward. Punks has a distinct shift in the word from the PUN to the KS. Coons has a very almost, I mean, you're talking about such a millisecond here. You can't even see it where it goes from the coons and you get the density in the S at the end. You just don't see that up here in George Zimmerman's clip. You just don't see it. Now, as I said, the methodology is not perfect because I am recording in different equipment. And I am not George Zimmerman. Now let's go over the second criticism regarding... Oh, and I just wanted to mention too, stripping of the bass and boosting of the treble is exactly what CNN did, and also what TheYoungTurks did to their audio. If you listen to their audio and listen to the original audio, you can tell that they processed it. The audio that I'm using is not processed. I can do that, but there's no point. Because you're just going to be boosting and reducing the noise along with the voice. But and as we already showed, look what happens to the voice when you do. Look at that voice wave, it just totally changes. So you can't do that. So let's go over the second aspect. The vowel sounds. The oohs and the ahs. What did he say right here? The oohs and the uhs. Okay? Let's look at that and see how that sounds. But first let me mention that this audio clip, as you can see, is less than a second. Alright? So trying to slow it down or do anything of that nature is really going to mess it up. I mean, and you can make it sound like anything the more you mess with it. But also, with the less than a second clip here, trying to isolate a or a ooh is extremely difficult, but we're going to try it anyways and see what it looks like.